Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 65 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Our show today is brought to you by Tech Reputation. Tech Reputation offers IT business owners a simple and effective way to manage, acquire, and market your positive reviews online. For a 14-day free trial, plus 10% off your setup and monthly subscription, visit techreputation.com/TSB. On this episode of the show, we have Nick Jordan of Logic Inbound on the show to teach us about how to dominate Google with content. He'll show us the tricks he used to get his company to show up for key terms around big brands like Instagram and Shopify. Learn about the different keyword strategies you need to use as a local business and why SEO is a lot simpler than you think. Plus, Paco talks about how a client getting hacked turned into an upsell opportunity and what he's doing to optimize his Yelp profile. And it doesn't involve getting mixed up in the Yelp mafia. All that and so much more coming up right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com. You can also catch our live stream right now on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the Tech Site Builder Facebook page, click the following tab, and then select See First so that every time the live stream happens, it'll jump to the top of your Facebook news feed. And, no matter what you're doing, you can be sure to catch us live. We have a lot of fun when we're doing this live. We'll chat with you in the Facebook chat. Hey, I put out a request to hire someone for something, so you might get a job out of it too. Who knows? But it's a great place to be when we get the show started, and to really feel like you're part of the Computer Business Marketing Show community. So hope you guys do join us in that live stream. So our topic today is going to be all about writing content that's going to be leveraged and maximized by search engine optimization. So we're aligning our content with search. And to talk to us about that is Nick Jordan. He's from Logic Inbound. And he's going to be giving us some proven strategies that he not only does for his clients, but he's proven with his own business using these techniques. And he's been able to rank for lots of great things and get to the top of the search results for a lot of competitive types of terms and search results. So we're going to dig in with that with Nick here shortly. So definitely stick around for that. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys, first of all, about the Computer Business Marketing Newsletter. That is the weekly digest of tips and tricks for marketing your computer business. Not only do we have a link to the latest podcast episode, but we also have a curation of articles from around the internet that have been written recently with the latest kind of trends and tips about leveraging marketing. And this is stuff that we curate, that we know you guys will love, that will work specifically for IT businesses. We also provide a digest of all of the best conversations that have been happening in the Facebook group, as well as a tip of the week, which is normally like a quote from business or thought leaders, or some kind of tip or trick that maybe something that happened to me during the week that I think is important to get out there. And all of that is packaged up in this nice, neat package. It gets delivered to your inbox once a week that you can kind of use to give you a boost in your marketing and give you fresh ideas on how to grow your business. So check that out. Just go to computerbusinessmarketing.com and you can sign up for the newsletter there. All right. Let's see. Paco, how you doing, man? What you been up to recently?
Hoy hoy. It's been a pretty good week. I actually had a couple days off because I had my daughter off from camp this week and next. So we had a little bit of good time at my office and had a couple of good opportunities that came up during the earlier of the week. So we partnered with a bigger IT provider, IT solutions provider, who passed us a lead. We talked to them on Friday. Sounded like it was going to be something when they needed it, they'll give us a call. And got an email over the weekend. I was actually out in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, helping out John Dubinsky with a couple things over on his side of the fence. and got an email basically saying that my client actually ended up getting hacked. So apparently they got in, renamed everything, posed as a dating service, and started sending out emails from a address book that wasn't his, luckily. But yeah, everything started getting sent out as if it was this dating site. So
Wow.
it was a good 3 hours hands-on, but the lessons learned here was make sure all your clients are on two-factor authentication on everything. He's a pain in the butt, but you need to do it. And the second part was it was a great upsell opportunity. So something to always prepare yourself where if you get all your stuff and all your ducks in a row, you have the opportunity to offer certain solutions for your clients, and you give the opportunity to be able to make some money. So that's what ended up happening with me. After we were said and done, it was either, hey, we did talk about this on Friday. If you wanted to go with an hourly service, we do have our retainer program along with our managed services retainer program. You're going to get a little bit of a discount, but it's a cash flow that comes in for us. So decided to go with the retainer program, and it was a great upsell opportunity. He was taken care of, but usually at those times of pain is when you have the ability to make sure you have solved that particular prospect or a client's issue when you're moving forward.
Yeah, one thing you can look into with that is, because it's one thing to be able to upsell that, after a disaster happens or after something happens where they know what the need is and they understand that it's important. But it's another thing to kind of sell that to someone who hasn't experienced something like that yet, and they're like, okay, I'll get around to it, or that's
Yep.
something that costs money, but I don't, it doesn't affect me. So one thing you could do with that is like maybe put together a case study uh, in a blog post or in an email or something about what happened to your client. You can keep it anonymous, and then how you resolved it and why it's important, and then send that out to all your existing clients and say, hey, we have a solution for this ready to go. We've tested it. It works out. And this is why you need it.
Yep. And like you said, it's always easier to sell at a reactive solution at the time of pain than it is proactive. And this is a great example. We literally talked Friday. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And literally the words from his mouth was, hey, you know what? It's been 25 years. We've always been really actually been okay. I've never really had to worry about it. So we'll go ahead and move forward. And then unfortunately Sunday, it just kind of just went ahead. So it was just a good learning experience, like you said, and for myself as well, because I don't really dive much into the Office 365 arena, and there was a lot of changes that were made, especially with Azure Active Directory now being put into for certain logins for Windows 10. So it was a great opportunity to learn all that as well. But kind of like swinging into this as well, Mike Smith over at the Mike Tech Show talked about this a little bit, but going off of two-factor authentication, wired.com actually has a deal where if you subscribe to the magazine for $10, they'll send you a YubiKey. So something to think about in the event that you guys are just tired of plugging in that code every single time. YubiKey might be a good solution for you to test out, and if it's a good fit, maybe to deploy it to a lot of your clients / look into other alternatives for two-factor authentication.
Very cool. Yeah, like you said, it's annoying and it's like an inconvenience a little bit, but it makes such a big difference in security, and it's hard to convince your clients of that.
Yep. And the other piece that we've been doing is we've just usually either on some downtime or when we get the opportunity to, usually Fridays are our marketing days, but I decided to do it a little bit earlier this week is I've really been hammering it out with Google My Business and trying to optimize that listing. I'm actually in a new page of theirs. They're actually introducing a community, and it's different from G Plus. It's called gsmallbusiness.com. Right now it's local to 3 cities, Pittsburgh, Fort Worth, and Chicago. And it's actually connecting small businesses in those cities to on everything marketing and whatever related to that. So I'll have a little bit more details on that piece. But after hammering Google My Business for so much, I've now decided to go flip over to where I usually get a lot of my other leads, which is on Yelp. Now, Yelp is the mafia, as I've mentioned before, but a lot of the great things that I've learned from Whitespark's website is one of them is how to optimize your Yelp reviews, and it's a long post, but from the actual owner of White Spark. But the cool part about it is that it shows how to get valuable Yelp reviews from customers that are active on Yelp, so that your reviews are not filtered. And that's the biggest piece about Yelp reviews is, for me, I've never really pushed on it because it's a mixed bag of cats. You either going to get filtered, they're going to be fine at one point. Sometimes they get taken off. Sometimes they come back. So it's always been a back and forth, and I never push people to go to it. And then there's even guidelines in Yelp that says you can't specifically ask for, I don't know if it's, you can't ask for reviews or you can't ask for positive reviews. It's one of those, whatever the keywords is in the guidelines. This actually kind of goes through on how to identify some of those things that help alleviate and start growing some of your reach through Yelp reviews as well.
Very cool. Yeah. And I know Yelp is like, to pay for Yelp ads is usually doesn't seem like it's worth it, but to optimize your Yelp profile, which you have for free, and you get those reviews coming in because people are going to leave reviews on Yelp for you, whether you like it or not, and get all that optimized is definitely worth pursuing.
Yeah. Let me be clear. Not Yelp ads. I don't know.
Yep.
The mafia, etc. That's what I'm going to say about
Exactly.
that. But that's my bit for this week, and should be pretty interesting for next week, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Cool. And then did you have Tech Site Builder question of the week for this week?
I did. So Tech Site Builder of the week is, as you're looking at your homepage, obviously we want to make sure that, as you go through your step funnel, what is the most easiest way of navigation, specifically for services? So on our homepage, we usually have a heat map, and we notice that a lot of people click on services, and then it goes into that page of services. The question is, does it make sense to have that page of services, or should it be available as like a sub menu that has the list of services for you to click to get to the particular page of that service? Essentially eliminating a step.
Right. So, instead of clicking on the services navigation item in the main menu and then getting a list of your services on that page, and then they have to click again to get to the service they want. Instead, like in the navigation, when they hover over services, they get a drop down of all your different services. They can go right to the one they want. So in the navigation menu, I mean, I like both, right? Why not have both? Why not have it where they might not know what they want, or they might want to learn a little bit more about your services. They can click on services, get a an overview of all the different services you have. The reason we set up that services page like we do in Tech Site Builder is it's very browse friendly. So it allows users to land on that page, quickly see visual cues for what your services are, the title, a brief description, and you can list a bunch of them there on that page, so people can browse really quick. If they're not quite sure what they need, but they just want to see what you offer, then they can go there and browse that list and get a little bit more information. But if they know exactly what they want and they're looking for it and they want to get to it quick, then if you give it to them in that drop down and let them get to it quickly, that's would be helpful for them as well. Another thing that you should do is also put some of your most popular services, or the services that you want to get in front of your clients, maybe the ones that have the best margin for you, or that your customers really love, and put those on the homepage. So in Tech Site Builder, we give you 3 boxes and a slider and some other places where you can put stuff on the homepage. Maybe link those to your popular services and make those boxes specifically about those 3 popular services. That way, if someone's scrolling the page, they don't necessarily look in the navigation menu, then they can find some of those services pretty quickly either. And I think you're doing something like that with your homepage, which is really cool. So that's kind of a tip for everyone else who's listening as well. Cool. All right. So that's the Tech Site Builder question of the week. If you guys want a computer business website that is easy to set up, but that you still have control over everything that goes on it, that's kind of what Tech Site Builder is. It fills the gap between getting a free website set up on Wix or one of those services that isn't built for IT businesses, or hiring a web developer and paying thousands of dollars. There's a sweet spot in between that, and that's kind of what Tech Site Builder is. It's a managed platform, so we take care of the security and the hosting and the speed optimization and all of that stuff, updating the software. But we give you the platform that you can then come on, and we give you the tools that you need to build out an effective website for your computer business. And kind of the mantra of Tech Site Builder is keep it simple. So it's not one of these website builders where we give you everything in the kitchen sink so that you can get overwhelmed and put a bunch of stuff on your website that your customers aren't going to want or aren't going to need. We give you a very focused, very professional, clean platform to add your content, add your services, add the things you want to build it out how you want without getting overwhelmed by all the different choices that are out there. Also, if you're one of those guys that just doesn't have the time to spend building out your website, we also offer concierge services where we'll do the building for you. So you'll have the website on our platform, and then we'll write your content and we'll put together your pages, make it look real nice so that you can get back to doing what you like to do, and that's fixing computers and helping people solve their IT problems. So check out Tech Site Builder at techsitebuilder.com. All right, now without further ado, let's jump into our featured topic. And this is a conversation that we're going to have with our guest, Nick Jordan. He's from Logic Inbound, and that is a service that serves all different types of businesses with their digital marketing needs, specifically search engine marketing. And we're going to talk to him a little bit today about how to kind of craft your content and make it work best with search. So thanks, Nick, for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Paco, thanks for having me on today, and hello from sunny Seattle.
Yeah, and the folks who are watching the video might see you bouncing up and down there. Want to explain kind of what's going on in your office over there?
Yeah, definitely. So as a business owner, like everybody that's listening in today, we work too much, and I was sacrificing my health to work. So not only did I get the stand-up desk, but I got the treadmill desk, so I can work while I walk and I don't have to sacrifice my health to do the things my business needs me to do.
So the one, and this is getting a little off topic, but I'm curious, because that's something I've thought about and tossed the idea around. I have the standing desk, and that's been great. I've loved that. But I was worried about like something like a treadmill desk where, you're kind of bouncing around. It's hard to focus on the screen or type or use the mouse. How have you been able to overcome that, or is that not even an issue?
It's really not an issue if you keep it around 1.5 to 2 miles per hour. I'm at 2 right now. You can do pretty much everything you need to do. If you're working in spreadsheets or where you need to click really delicately, then you want to bump it down and it should be fine.
Oh, cool. Awesome. That's a bonus tip for you guys listening. But yeah, it's one of those things I definitely like to look into. Luckily, I have a dog that forces me to go walking. I have a dog in no backyard. So that forces me to take him for multiple walks during the day, forces me to get out and from behind the desk. But yeah, the treadmill desk is definitely like the next level.
And don't mind the camera here, guys. I'm just creating some content for my Instagram stories that'll go live right after we're done.
Sweet. Yes. So practicing what you preach. I love it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of going to be the gold nugget in this interview is all this stuff you're going to be telling us you've done and you've done in your own business. And you were explaining to us before the interview, like that's kind of one of your pet peeves of other digital marketers out there that have the companies that tell you what to do but don't necessarily do it themselves. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that philosophy and weave that into how you got started with Logic Inbound?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started Logic Inbound a couple of years ago, and what we quickly learned is that one is search engine optimization. The SEO industry has a a very negative association with it, and it's because everybody's been ripped off by their search marketing provider. They said, hey, this campaign is going to take 6, 9, 12 months. 6 months in, you're like, hey, where's the results? They're like, everything is on track. You hit 9 months. You're like, where's the results? You hit 12, and then you end up canceling them. And what we saw is that 99% of people that are selling search marketing are not actually consuming their own services to generate traffic, leads, and sales for themselves. And so we saw, I think that 99% figure probably aligns with the success rate of most search agencies, right? But also we saw an opportunity to differentiate ourselves by making search work for us. It gives our clients confidence that 12 months later, they're going to have the results that they're looking for.
That's really cool. So, and I think one of the biggest aspects of that strategy is content. Can you talk about like the importance of content in digital marketing specifically, and why you kind of focus heavily on that?
Yeah, so there's this misconception that people have of search marketing. They think it's really technical and it involves backlinks and 301 redirects and all sorts of stuff that sounds very, very, very complicated. And that's not true at all. Last month, we generated 95,000 visitors from Google. And I'd say 90% of our effort has been invested into creating highly relevant content for the search terms that we want to rank for. And the way that we think about search is very intuitive. Google has to show the highest quality, most relevant search results for any given search query. And the reason why they have to do that, the reason why that's their number one goal, is if they don't, it creates an opportunity for a competitor to come in and put their $100 billion a year of AdWords revenue at risk. And so Google will rank the most relevant, the highest quality content all day, every day. And this strategy allows us to outrank stronger, more powerful brands like Instagram and Shopify.
Yeah, that's a bold statement there. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you're doing to do that? Paco, if you could jump in and take over for a little bit. I just realized that my Surface is not plugged in, and I got to go grab the power cord really quick. So I'm going to have to hop off, and I'll be right back.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so when we started our content campaign, we knew that we're competing with the top SEOers in the world to rank content related to SEO. And so we didn't want to focus on SEO first. We wanted to focus on searches at the middle and the top of the funnel that we knew our qualified prospects are searching for. And the people that hire us are marketers and founders. So we wanted to target searches that we knew marketers and founders were searching for, and we didn't have to compete with other SEOs because it was going to be too competitive. And so we put our thinking hats on, and it was actually quite a simple process because I'm both a founder and a marketer. And when I search for information on the internet, I'm looking for tactical information related to the platforms I use. How do I grow my Instagram? How do I do this on Shopify? How do I, use Facebook as a business page? There are all these topics that by looking at what's being searched, you can tell who's searching for them. And one of those topics that we found was contact Instagram. It turns out a lot of people search this search term every single month, Instagram, and we felt that some percentage of the search volume is going to be founders and marketers, the people that are qualified to hire our company. And you can see that not only do we outrank Instagram, but Google's actually given us the featured snippet and embedded our search results into the search. And the same story with Shopify. And anyone in the US can go and replicate this, go search those queries. People outside the US will probably see different results because it's localized by country.
So for those that are listening via the audio podcast, what Nick is showing us is basically he's doing a Google search on some of the content that he's aligned with these search terms. And by doing that, he's allowed his business has come up number one on the search results for both Contact Instagram and is Shopify safe. And as you pull those terms up, the results are coming out of links from his business site, not of the actual content itself, outranking some of those more prevalent searches. But a question for you, Nick, is, in the IT industry, we got really banged around for a lot of scammers that were advertising contact numbers for like Dell and like all these other things and putting kind of these all regular different numbers. How does the content aligning with that SEO search differ from what those scammers were doing to get their results kind of higher before Google kind of started slapping back?
Actually, I had no idea. I thought we invented this strategy. So I didn't realize scammers pioneered it, and I'm just coming in after they already cleaned up all the good stuff. So we started off with Instagram. Now we're targeting Contact Shopify, Shopify Help. And our goal is we found that there's a little too much consumer search traffic for things like Contact Instagram. There is some, national and international brands that talk to us, but not enough. And so our next area of focus is only on platforms that we know marketers and founders are using. These might be things like Tableau. These might be things like Shopify or Magento, things of that nature.
So do you recommend to for our listeners to maybe think about brand names that our customers might be using or searching for online, and then trying to write some sort of content around that brand?
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned earlier that it's a lot easier to sell things after it's been broken. And so if you can think of any searches that you think business owners are making after something bad happens, those would be great targets to rank for. Like, is my internet down? That might be a good one. Just brainstorming here. Or, I got fished. Now what? So we actually, a lot of marketers, when they create content, they're using their gut, and they think their audience wants this kind of content. And we work backwards based off of what people are searching for, and then write content that aligns with those search queries.
So that's I guess the keyword research side of it, right?
That's absolutely correct.
What kind of tips do you have for that part of the process?
Yeah, so it's super easy. What we do is we'll go to a tool called Ahrefs. This is our favorite keyword research tool. It also does a ton of other things. But we'll type in something like Shopify. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a list of all of the ways that people search Google for the keyword Shopify. And there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Well, there's only 200,000 variations of Shopify. Now, you can see that some of these things have checkboxes. These are content opportunities that we've deemed good enough to invest money into creating content that aligns with those queries. But if there's a lot of queries around what you're searching for, I like to filter, and I want to stick to informational queries. So I want to figure out how people are searching for Shopify. I might filter by what, where, who, is, why, to really get the informational queries that people are typing in.
Now, is there any way to localize this? Because a lot of our listeners will be servicing like a local area or a metropolitan area.
So one mistake that I see a lot of local business owners is investing into their blog. And investing in your blog is not going to create new prospects. And the reason is because blog topics are national searches, which means people that are searching across the country are going to see this information. And like you just said, 99.999% of those visitors are not going to be in a geographic service area. So blog content is good if you want to build authority and credibility with prospects that are already in your sales funnel, but they're not going to get you new prospects. Now, if you're going to be investing in content, don't write it on your site. Go and pitch content to a major publication that people have heard of, because then when you're using that content to build authority and credibility with prospects in your sales funnel, it's not on your site. It's not coming from you. It's coming from, Wired or GeekWire or TechCrunch.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So as far as like a search engine strategy for a local business, what would be something you want to focus on then if it's not the blog content as far as helping your positioning? The
search opportunity for local businesses is bottom of the funnel. It's help desk, it's computer repair, it's laptop repair. However, what you're going to find, and this is getting so what you're going to see is that for every type of search that you're targeting, you're going to want to create a separated landing page. So earlier in the conversation, there was questions on whether to put all the services on one page or create separate sub pages for each service. And if you want to actually drive search traffic, you're going to need separate sub pages for each service. And I'll show you why right now. If I search iPhone repair Seattle, the search results are going to be completely different than if I search laptop repair Seattle. You'll see that every single website on this first page has been optimized for iPhone repair, and you're not able to optimize one page for two completely different keywords, because Google's going to have a ton of pages that are just specific to iPhone repair to show. And then, again, it goes back to creating highly, highly relevant content for the keyword that you're targeting. And if I type in laptop repair Seattle, I'm going to see all of the pages on the first page are optimized for laptop repair. Right. So we actually spend a lot of time Googling, well, can one page rank for both of these keywords? And we decided to build a tool internally to help us answer that question. And basically, you'll just type in laptop repair Seattle, iPhone repair Seattle, and it'll crawl Google, and it'll look at how many pages rank for both keywords on the first page. And if there's less than 3, you probably can't do it. If there's more than 3, you could probably rank for both keywords.
Interesting.
So I guess my question, Nick, is when we go back to the topic of content, and this is a very big buzzword that you hear from, the people like Gary Vaynerchuk to Patrick Bet-David on the entrepreneur side of the world. And, blog is a type of content. And you mentioned that that's not something really for local to kind of concentrate on, although I slightly disagree, because I think from a lot of the blog content that I've gotten from certain services that I enroll in has built, like you said, build that authority that have actually attracted new prospects from my own followers. But what content would you say people should invest in, and specific content? Is it investing in a designer to create images that kind of go out there? Should it be the content of, like you mentioned, I believe, for appearing of that content on other sites that are going to provide some backlinks to you? What are some stuff for smaller businesses, local, to really sink their teeth in, to really get to where, like how you're mentioning, the best bang for their buck or their best effort in time?
Some of the services that these local businesses are providing can be delivered over the internet. So the example that you used earlier was they got hacked, right? Maybe it's phishing, maybe it's malware, whatever it is. You don't actually need to be in the same city to address those issues, at least some of the time. And so there's still value in creating content that ranks nationally because because of the nature of the business that we work in, whether it's digital marketing, mobile app development, or computer repair. Some of that service can be delivered outside of the same geographic region. But I want to highlight something for you. If I search iPhone repair, this is considered a local search, and Google's only going to show me local companies. All these people are located in Seattle. But if I Google, how do I repair my broken iPhone 5, this should be a national search, and it should show me results from all over the country. And so, that's kind of why I said that blog content is great for building authority and credibility, because it shows that you have competency, but it's not going to create new leads from Google.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that makes sense. And I think it's, so for local businesses, it's worth really focusing on those individual service landing pages, focus on, the keyword for that service and optimize it. So that kind of brings me to the next question, which is, so we've identified these keywords we want to go after, whether it's, the national conversation of a question around a brand, or a local conversation around a specific service we have. What are some of the things we need to do with the content that we're writing for that page to make it stand out in Google's?
Absolutely. So the first thing you need to figure out is how people are searching Google for your services in your city. Because if you look at the data, people in Houston use one word more frequently than people in Seattle. And an example of that is people in Houston, the most popular way to search for Android app development is Android app developers. But in Seattle, it might be Android app development firm. And so you really want to understand how people are using Google to find the services specific to your city. And so coming back to Ahrefs, what you're going to do is you're going to use a keyword explorer to find out all of the ways that people are searching for the word Seattle. There's 1.7 million. So what we want to do is filter it into relevant keywords. So we'll type in computer, laptop, iPhone, Android. What else do IT guys fix?
Data recovery.
Data recovery, that's great.
Security.
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in your city, and then you're going to type in all of the various services that you provide. So now I see that computer repair Seattle has 600 searches every single month. And Seattle laptop, these are probably people trying to buy a laptop. But iPhone repair Seattle, I know that 450 people are searching for that every single month. Now, Seattle's a unique geography. It's actually about 14 cities in the greater Seattle region. There's Bellevue, there's Kirkland, there's Redmond, there's another 10 of those. And what you'll find also in Google is that you're not going to appear in the search results for Bellevue with the same page that's going to rank you in Seattle. So if we search Seattle iPhone repair, we're again going to see that the results are very specific to Seattle. And when we search Bellevue, which is literally 5 miles away where Microsoft is located, Bellevue iPhone repair, we're going to see a completely whole different set of search results. So not only do you need to understand what people are searching for, types of services, you need to understand how they're using the local geography to search as well.
So one popular strategy among some SEO firms is when dealing with companies that serve broad areas and different cities within that area is they'll create a landing page for each service for each town. So it'll be iPhone repair Bellevue, iPhone repair Seattle, and there'll be separate pages for each one of those. Is that a strategy you recommend?
Absolutely. So you'll see that we rank number 4 for NYC SEO expert, and I haven't been to New York in 3 years, and no one else on my team has ever been to New York. And the way we did it was by creating a highly relevant landing page to that specific query that we're targeting. You'll see it's in the URL, it's in the title, it's in the meta description. And then the other really easy search hack that you can do is create more content than the competition. Because Google doesn't know who has quality content, what Google uses is heuristics. So they look at user engagement metrics. And longer content typically has better user engagements than shorter content.
Now, is that something that Google only tracks when someone clicks on it through the search results? Or is it something that, say, you write a blog post and you write a new page and then you send it out to your email list to get people to read it? Would that then flow through to?
Absolutely. If you have Google Analytics installed on your page, any traffic source that it highly engages is a good thing. So one of the things that we've done for some e-commerce clients is we get links in the video description of YouTube videos. And the YouTube videos are highly relevant to the product we're selling. And that traffic that's searching for that particular YouTube video clicks our website. They engage really well. They buy some stuff, and that just drove massive search results really, really fast. So another thing is another heuristic Google uses for quality content is structured data. So you can see that we put some bullet points in here. Structured data is things like lists, tables of content, anything that kind of indicates you spent more effort than just a bunch of paragraphs on a page. And so when Google crawls your site and it sees that you have more content than the competition and you have more structured data than the competition, what Google's going to do is it's going to raise your page closer and closer to the first page. And once you get to the second page, it's going to start testing. It's going to pop you on the first page, it's going to pop you off. It happens on a daily basis, sometimes hourly, even minutely. And what it's doing is it's comparing the user engagement metrics that your page receives versus the other pages on the first page, because at the end of the day, Google wants to show the highest quality, most relevant content, and user engagements is like the best heuristic ever to figure that out.
Interesting. Yeah, I do notice that when a website starts doing a little bit better in the search results, it reaches a point where it does kind of that dance where it like bounces around back and forth, and that's always frustrating because it's like it's doing well, and then it's like doing this for a little while. But that makes sense that they're testing it out and they're seeing if we put this on the first page, are people going to engage with it, and is it going to be a good result?
Absolutely.
So one question for you, Nick, is going back to, for us that would use Ahrefs or SEMrush or SERPstat, and we're going through those filters, what would you say is the best timetable or the best sample size to look at to determine those keywords for you?
Sorry, can you repeat the question in a different way?
Sure. So essentially, if we're looking to try and figure out what are going to be the keywords that we want to create the content to, what time frame do you think that we should look at? So for example, if we look at the last 30 days versus the last maybe 90 days, maybe there's going to be a dip in certain searches that we're trying to advertise for.
Yeah, definitely. So the way that these tools, Ahrefs is just one of the 5 or so top tools like Moz and SEMrush, like you said. It's all kind of it's not perfectly accurate, right? Because it gives us a monthly search figure, but that search figure definitely changes month over month over month. But the numbers in this might not change. So we'll see that, Craigslist Seattle, 738,000 searches a month. It's not exactly 738,000 searches every single month, but in general, the search term gets 738,000 searches. Gotcha. So just look at the monthly search volume and prioritize your investment into content based off of the opportunity that it represents.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's what I want to know. So, because I didn't see a filter for time frame, but so monthly is probably the best sample size to kind of look at that type of deal. Got it. Cool.
Great. So that's we're getting towards the end of our time here. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on as far as the the idea of crafting content. I think spending the time to look at the keywords is a big piece that not a lot of people do, especially business owners. They don't think to spend the time to look at the keywords, see where people are what people are searching for, and figure out the competition and the location and everything like that. Any other tips you got for folks?
Yeah, just to wind us down and take us home, I'm going to quickly cover what drives relevance and what drives quality content. So relevance is driven by things like the URL, the title, the description. And what you can see is that we used all of this available real estate much better than Instagram did. Instagram doesn't have any of those keywords that we're ranking for in their description, in their URL, or in their title. And then when you click onto the pages, H1s and H2s are also valuable real estate for driving relevance. And you should absolutely use the keywords and the variations of the keywords you want to rank for in those. So you'll see that Instagram has some of the lightest content I've ever seen on a web page. There's 20 words here where we just dump words in here. And additionally, we've created this moat because we now have 74 comments. And people that hit this page are going to scroll through the comments trying to see if anyone's experienced and received a resolution for the same issues that they have. So places where we also drive relevance is by the H1s and the H2s. We don't just want to rank for the core keyword. We want to rank for as many variations of the core keyword as possible. So include those variations in the H1s and H2s, the title, the meta description. Add structured data, list bullet points, bold some words, include some pictures, do some outbound citations to non-competitive sites. These are all things that Google looks for when it's trying to figure out how relevant you are and whether your content is higher quality than the competition.
Love it. Yeah, this is great stuff. And this is it's information that's out there, but I think the problem is it's mixed with a bunch of other information that's not so helpful or not so accurate, and so there's that piece, and then there's also Google's algorithm people publish 200 some odd different points that are part of the algorithm that each one factors into how your page gets ranked. And so you look at that list and you get overwhelmed very quickly.
Yes.
Whereas, I think we're looking at kind of the biggest bang for the buck, especially around service businesses and around the content that they create.
You're so right. And I actually talk about that all the time, how if you Google what impacts search rankings, you're going to find websites like backlink.io, and they have 200 different factors, and it makes it sound very overwhelming. You're like, I can't do all this. I don't have the time or the expertise. But really, if you just focus a majority of your activities on keyword research, the optimization, and creating quality content, you can ignore all the rest of that stuff. And I'm living proof. I didn't do any of that stuff except for those 3 activities, and now I have 95,000 visits a month.
And the cool thing is, if you create that quality content, the other stuff you need for search engines kind of takes care of itself, right? The backlinks will take care of themselves when people link to your awesome content because they find it, and it's kind of you do a few key things, and then everything else kind of piles on top of that naturally.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to try to game the system or whatever. So I love it, man. You're preaching to the choir with this stuff, and I hope folks in the audience have picked up some useful nuggets from this. I know a lot of this stuff we are implementing in the stuff we do for Tech Site Builder, but I learned a couple gold nuggets that I'm going to start implementing for you guys as well. So, hey, Nick, I'm excited to probably in the future have you back on, because I think we can dig into a lot of other things. You're a super smart guy, and you're testing this stuff out, and you have results. So,
oh yeah, we
great.
definitely need them back.
Thank you so much. I actually just wrote the playbook. All of these techniques, I put it on paper, and I wrote it for doctors. Maybe I can write one for IT guys.
We would love that. So if folks want to continue following you and maybe follow up with if that book comes together, what's the best place people can find you?
Hit me up on LinkedIn, Nick from Seattle. Hit me up on Facebook, Nick from Seattle. Hit me up on Instagram, Nick from Seattle. Hit me up on email, Nick@LogicInbound.
Sounds good. And we'll have links to those various profiles on our show notes page. All right, Nick, thanks a lot, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you so much for having me on. Have a great rest of the day, guys.
And if you could unshare your screen, that would be awesome, because I'm not sure how to do it. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. Before we wrap up, just want to give a quick shout out to our second sponsor, and that is Tech Reputation. Tech Reputation offers IT business owners a simple and effective way to manage, acquire, and market your positive reviews online. Paco was talking earlier about, managing your Yelp reviews and making sure that, you keep those Yelp reviews on your profile and optimizing your profile. We also talked last week about optimizing your Google My Business profile. And part of optimizing those different online profiles about your business is to make sure that you're curating the best reviews you can. And that's kind of what Tech Reputation helps you do. It basically serves as a middleman between the customer and you. When you're done servicing your customer, it asks them, hey, how was our service? And if your customer says great, then it says, okay, well, hey, why don't you leave us a review on one of these platforms, whatever you prefer. You have control over what platform you give them available to leave a review. And then that encourages them to leave a review, because a lot of times when someone has a positive experience, they just don't think to leave a review online. So that kind of prompts them to do that. And then, of course, if they have a less than stellar experience, it gives you an opportunity to work with them to make their experience better, or to help mitigate that problem, or help make them happy. And so what that does is it avoids those people who might not necessarily express to you that they had a bad service, but then later on they'll go and leave a bad review because they have a chip on their shoulder, or they misunderstood something, or something happened. So this helps you avoid that by kind of being the middleman in between the client and you. Not only that, but it also helps you optimize your different places that your business is listed online. And this is important for SEO purposes, especially for local businesses. You want to make sure that your citations online are accurate, and that they are the consistent is the word I was looking for. And Tech Reputation gives you a dashboard where you can see all of the different citations that your business has received online, and then you can use the service to update anything that's not accurate, or if you do change your phone number, or if you change your business name or something like that, you have one place you can go to make all those updates to all those different listings online. And that's important not only for people to be able to find you, but also for search engines to understand the information about your business and to make sure it's accurate and across all of the different places online. Those two things are super important, and those are worth the price of admission. But yet there's a third thing that Tech Reputation offers, and that is a aggregation of all of your reviews online that you can post on your website. So you can get a list of all of those positive 5-star reviews from Facebook, Google, Yelp, wherever, and you can get all of those in one place so that people can see just a one-stop shop of all of your great reviews. You can put it in a widget on your website, on the homepage, on a testimonials page, or a pro tip: put one review testimonial on every page. So that way, no matter what page someone is on your website, they see a good review, they see a testimonial, they see real people leaving real feedback for your business. You can accomplish all of that with Tech Reputation. Tech Reputation does have integration with Tech Site Builder. So you can easily get that aggregation of positive reviews on your website. You can find out more about Tech Reputation and get 10% off your setup and monthly subscription fee by going to techreputation.com/TSB. That 10% off is on top of their already 14-day free trial and 30-day money-back guarantee. So you really have nothing to lose by trying out Tech Reputation. They'll get everything set up for you, and you can make sure your reputation is stellar for your IT business online. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Don't forget to join us in the Facebook group. You can just go into Facebook and search Computer Business Marketing, and you'll find the Computer Business Marketing group. That's where a bunch of IT business owners are hanging out, talking about marketing topics, helping each other out with different things. It's just kind of a great water cooler type of place where you can throw out some ideas for marketing, see what's working for other people. And it's a very engaged and smart group of folks that are in there. So I'd love for you to join us in that Facebook group. And finally, if you enjoyed the show, please give us a shout out on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to this podcast. And if they let you leave a review for the podcast, we'd love to get your feedback. We'd love to hear what you think of it. And every review you leave does help our podcast get found by other folks. And that helps us grow, and then that helps you grow as well. Finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, tecsitebuilder.com and techreputation.com/TSB. Thank you for checking out the Computer Business Marketing Show. My name is Matthew Rodella.
And this is Paco LeBron.
Saying here's to your success.